Did you know that before World War II, Japan was considered a major global power? Today we will unveil the shocking truth about how this small island nation became a dominant force on the world stage, even rivaling the likes of the United States, Great Britain, and France. Through a combination of economic strength, military prowess, and a growing sense of nationalism, Japan emerged as a formidable player in international affairs. But what really set Japan apart from its contemporaries was its unique blend of traditional values and modern innovations. For centuries, Japan had been known for its rich cultural heritage, including its art, literature, and philosophy. At the same time, it had also made significant strides in areas such as science and technology. This fusion of tradition and modernity allowed Japan to develop a distinct national identity that contributed to its rise as a superpower. In this video, we will delve deep into the factors that made Japan such a powerful nation in the decades leading up to World War II. We will explore its economic growth, military advancements, and the role of nationalism in shaping its foreign policy. By understanding what made Japan so formidable, we can gain insight into the events that ultimately led to its involvement in one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. It is important to note that Japan's rise to power was not without its challenges. The country faced numerous internal and external threats that could have easily led to its downfall. However, through a combination of determination, innovation, and strategic alliances, Japan was able to overcome these obstacles and emerge as a major global power. As we continue our exploration of Japan's history, we will uncover the secrets that made this small island nation such a formidable force and discover how its unique blend of tradition and modernity allowed it to stand toe-to-toe with some of the biggest powers of the time. Japan embarked on a path of aggressive expansion driven by a desire for resources and a belief in its own superiority. The late 19th century marked a turning point in Japanese history as the country began to emerge as a major player on the world stage. Japan's victory in the Russo-Japanese War of 1904–1905, where it defeated the mighty Russian Empire, was a pivotal moment that established Japan as a formidable power in East Asia. This victory led to the annexation of Korea and the colonization of Taiwan, expanding Japan's territorial holdings and providing it with valuable resources. As Japan grew in power, it also developed a strong sense of nationalism, which played a significant role in its decision to pursue an aggressive expansionist policy. The Japanese government began to promote a narrative of Japanese exceptionalism, emphasizing the country's unique cultural and racial characteristics as a justification for its dominance in Asia. This growing nationalism, coupled with the belief in the superiority of Japanese culture and the need for resources to support its growing population, fueled Japan's drive for empire. The Japanese military played a crucial role in this expansionist policy, serving as the driving force behind the country's aggressive actions in the region. The military's influence on government policy was significant, and it was largely responsible for the decision to invade Manchuria in 1931 and subsequently engage in a full-scale war with China in 1937. These actions were seen as a way to secure Japan's position in East Asia and to establish its dominance over the region. However, the further Japan progressed in its expansionist campaign, the more it isolated itself from the international community. The Japanese invasion of China, in particular, drew widespread condemnation and economic sanctions from Western powers, which ultimately contributed to Japan's decision to form alliances with other authoritarian regimes such as Germany and Italy. Despite the growing international pressure, Japan continued to pursue its aggressive expansionist policy until its eventual defeat in World War II. Japan's militaristic rise to power in the 1930s was a complex process driven by a multitude of factors. One of the most significant of these factors was the influence of the military, which played a central role in Japanese politics and society. The Japanese military had a long history of involvement in government affairs, and during the 1930s, it became increasingly assertive in shaping national policy. Military leaders began to advocate for a more aggressive foreign policy, calling for the expansion of Japanese territory and the assertion of Japanese dominance in Asia. This militarization was further fueled by the growth of Japanese nationalism, which emphasized the country as unique cultural and racial characteristics and promoted a sense of superiority over other nations. The Japanese government actively promoted this nationalist sentiment through education and propaganda, which helped to create a climate of fear and aggression towards perceived outsiders. Another key factor in Japan's militaristic rise was the country's rapid industrialization and economic growth. In the early 20th century, Japan had undergone a remarkable transformation from an isolated agrarian society to a modern industrial power. This economic growth led to the emergence of a powerful middle class that was eager to assert Japan's position on the world stage. The military was seen as a symbol of this newfound power and was strongly supported by the middle class as it pursued its expansionist goals. Finally, Japan's militaristic rise was also influenced by external factors such as the behavior of other nations and the perceived threat they posed to Japanese interests. For example, the growing power of the Soviet Union in Asia and the Pacific alarmed Japanese leaders, who saw it as a potential threat to their own territorial ambitions. This fear of communism, combined with the desire to secure resources and markets for Japan's growing population, led to the Japanese invasion of Manchuria in 1931 and subsequently the full-scale war with China in 1937. Overall, Japan's militaristic rise in the 1930s was the result of a complex interplay of factors, including the influence of the military, the growth of nationalism and rapid industrialization, as well as external threats and ambitions. Now you know why Japan became a superpower before World War II. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more historical tales. Thanks for watching. See you next time.